it's so funny. I've talked to people all today in the market, not in the market, and the Ottawa Senators are allowed to be a good team too. I get that the Leafs jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and they played great. But outside of game one, which was Ottawa too horny on offense as far as aggressiveness and took too many penalties, they were 3 for 6 on the power play. The Leafs were, and Ottawa was 0 for 3 in that game. 6-2. The Leafs were the better team. Ottawa looked overwhelmed. But from games 2 to 5, it's been pretty close. And a bounce here, a seeing eye shot there. So it's when you look at the chances, they're not overwhelming. So it's last night the high danger chances were 7-7. So it's not this high event, wide open hockey. So it can go either way. But if you said to me at the start of the play of this round one, that series, I said it would probably go 6 or 7. Well, that's what's happening. But what's happened is the way it's arrived has really got people worked up. And, at 3-2 is 3-2. So the Leafs have an opportunity to close them out again. I don't know. I mean, it might go to 7, but Ottawa's the last couple games look pretty darn good. And it's amazing when the goalie starts making some saves. Mm-hmm. It could be a little scary.
Yeah, the funniest part for me is okay, yeah, you were up 3-0, but essentially everyone's losing their mind that the Leafs didn't win 4 of 5. We're in a league where favorites are often 60 to 65% in a lopsided matchup. You're asking a team to win 80% of a 5-game, and they didn't. What a bunch of losers.
It's the scar tissue, though,
right? The psychology, it is. And
it is. And you're 100% right. The scar tissue is in this market. Here we go again, seeing this act. Up 3-1 against Montreal in the bubble, losing 7. And what the only thing that I get frustrated with is the verbiage. We won the division and they're an inferior team. It's not like Ottawa was a lottery team that just backdoored their way into the playoffs. They were second wild card, and they probably could have been in the top 3 in any other division based on either points or quality of competition. It just so happens the Atlantic 5 teams made it, and pretty good teams. So in the end, I look at it that way is okay, Ottawa's a good team. They're allowed to play. They've played hard. Outside of game 1, they haven't been overwhelmed. And I even was reminding somebody at TSN today saying, Thomas Chabot's 28 years old. This isn't, hey, lessons learned. He's 19. Brady and him, they have 500 games in the league. Crazy. So they know how to play. They just have never experienced the playoff situation. So they're learning on the fly, but they're not overwhelmed by the moment. It just so happens they don't have a wealth of, going deep into the playoffs or playing multiple years in the playoffs, but they're adjusting. And, I thought Jake Sanderson was the best player on that kid can play, man. He is so good. And, some of the younger guys aren't overwhelmed anymore. They're just playing.
Also, there's no pressure when you're down 3-0. Everyone's already written you off. Fun spot to play.
You can play hey, we got nothing to lose, go out and relax and play. And, I would suspect to see a big effort from the Leafs tomorrow. Ottawa might be defending a lot, or they got to figure out. But if Ottawa's found a formula too, then it might be another close game. There's no reason that doesn't lead me to believe that won't be another close game.
And I would argue that the team with the best goalie is 5-0. So
yeah,
you can
that scar tissue for the last 14 games where the Leafs with a win would eliminate their opponent are 1-13.
Yes.
So there is that.
Yep.
You mentioned Ullmark, 29 saves. He allowed 12 on 65 shots in the first 3 games. Since then, 3 on 63. So that's a sharp turn.
He looks more comfortable. It's weird with him, and having been around him all year, it's not like he's a 60-game starter. We've already identified that. He's he's played 49 as the most he's ever played in the regular season. But he does get into these grooves where he looks comfortable. And before his injury, where he got injured in Edmonton at Christmas, that was December, whatever that was, 22nd, 23rd. He was 8-0 and was kind of like what I'm seeing right now, just very comfortable in the net, making the saves. He's not busy. He doesn't open a lot of holes. Doesn't go chasing. He's a big guy who moves well, and he reads plays. Like, he looks comfortable right now. I don't know what that translates to, but as you mentioned, the stats aren't lying. 3 goals on 63 shots or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he looks comfortable the last couple games. And the Leafs in the first couple games, they were getting to him because they were getting bodies there, and he wasn't tracking pucks, and he looked a little bit off kilter. And now the Sens are, trying to get to Stolarz, getting bodies in front of him. Another seeing eye shot yesterday from Shabbat, where, just get your pucks through. That was one of the things I noticed. If I had to critique Ottawa, was at one point they had 90 shots blocked. So they weren't in credit to the Leafs for getting in lanes, and Chris Tanev, who's a blocker of all blockers, but you've got to get your shots through to test the goaltender. Somehow Ottawa is finding a way to at least get a few more shots through, and a few of them have found the back of the net.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.